Is Lancelot the mole? Welcome back to this last summaries video. Welcome back to all the hints and theories leading to Lancelot as the mole. In the last 2 days I uploaded 2 videos, one with all of the hints and theories leading to Toes as the mole, and one with all the hints and theories leading to Comfort as the mole. If you've not watched them yet, then check out my channel and make sure to still watch them, because they will hopefully help you figure out who the mole is in the end. Before we dive into all the hints and theories about Lancelot, one last reminder that in these videos I only talk about all the hints and theories leading to that person as the mole and not about the anti-Molactions, although all 3 finalists did have their anti-Molactions as well. Before we start talking about the episodes, we have to talk about 2 possible hidden hints concerning Lancelot. The first one is that Lancelot let us know that he is a movies fan, and throughout the whole season we had like the big theme movies. So there were several movie references throughout the season, so it could be a hint to a movie fan like Lancelot. And the second and probably more interesting one is that Lancelot is a twin. And throughout the season we had situations in which things happened doubled. So for example, in last episode we got to hear one piece of music twice. That one was Für Elise by Beethoven. There's no other explanation why it, was played twice. And there are also several situations that reminded people of the movie Twin Peaks. And last but not least, there's also the weird situation that there were some spelling mistakes. One time during that horseshoe task, and also in that newspaper, in that special newspaper the candidates got. And in that newspaper, Jill's name was written incorrectly. And not only one time incorrectly, but 2 times. So Jill is written with a double L. And one of those L's was missing. And there was a similar situation in that horseshoe. There was a word which actually is written with 2 P's, I think, and they only wrote it with 1 P. So maybe, I know this sounds crazy, but maybe it's a reference of a pair of twins being separated so that there's only one out of the 2 in the season, meaning that Lancelot is the lonely twin in that season. Now let's get to some serious hints and theories. In episode number 1, Lancelot was arriving at, the finish together with Ruben, and they both decided to press the button, which then turned out to be way too early, which meant that they lost all of the money they had just earned. And he also was part of the line dance group and kind of messed that up a bit, so he clapped too early, made mistakes, and of course they weren't allowed to make mistakes. If you've watched the last 2 videos about Toes and Comfort, then you know that in episode number 2 the peeled potatoes were pretty important. And yes, there's also a situation about those potatoes with Lancelot, because he suggests to still keep using those peeled potatoes, although Lancelot and Samia are standing right next to him and they had just told the group that those potatoes meant money. And of course the mole would like to still use them to not get that much money into the pot. And there's one more thing in that episode. So you remember that between task 1 and task 2 there was that situation in which we got to see the acting skills of the candidates when that lamp fell down in the preparation talks before they left Belgium. And Jill is already telling us about, that in the beginning of the episode. So he tells us that that will happen during the episode. And he starts this episode actually not by telling us as the viewers about it, but by informing the mole about that situation. And he starts his speech with Dag beste mol. And when he says that, we see Lancelot. Episode number 3 started with the horseshoe task, and in that one Lancelot said that jolly jumping would be the correct name of the horse from Lucky Luke, but that turned out to be the incorrect name because that horse is actually called Jolly Jumpers, which meant wrong pair of horseshoes, which meant no money added to that pot for that pair of horseshoes. And later we had a task with the eggs. You know, they had to take care of a red egg for a whole day, and he, well, seemed very furious when his red egg was gone. In the end, we know that Lancelot was out of the house putting things in the cars, and then we as the viewers got to see that his egg laid in the front yard, broken, smashed. So maybe it was him who, well, broke his own egg, which meant that he had to buy a new one, and that meant getting money out of the pot. Not that much money, but still a little bit of money. And also during the task he made a very weird move with his arm, making sure that he, well, broke the red egg of Ruben, which then meant Ruben wasn't part of the game anymore and couldn't earn any money anymore. In episode number 5, he makes sure that during the supermarket task there will be no extra money added to the pot when he runs into that cornflakes pile. And later he also is part of the movies group, and although he said that he has quite some knowledge about movies, well, he isn't really helpful in the end. So they only figure out one film correctly. And when it comes to the question whether or not all of the 3 other people were on the plane, he is, well, joining Thomas in the thought that they should say yes, although Lancelot had the right gut feeling that Comfort wasn't on the plane, and that meant not only no Passfragen for them, but also, again, no extra money into the pot. In episode number 6, Lancelot had his big stage moment when he was the teacher in the community college task, and that of course was a brilliant position to Mol, because he was the one responsible for giving the information to the students, so he could brilliantly mess that up. We've talked a lot about that in the video to episode number 6, so if you want to rewatch that, then check out my channel. I will link to the one here as well. But not only that, he also did not tell them about that last fun fact, and he also had that word clapping thing, and there's also the theory that this could be a Morse code, so a hidden hint, because in Morse code 2 times, so 2 times a long signal means M, and of course the M stands for Mol. Later in that episode we had the bus task, the FBI task, and in that one he and Thomas couldn't figure out the wrong person, so they told the other group the wrong person, which then led to the wrong tool, which then led to losing time, and yeah, that of course could have gone terribly wrong due to only that one wrong information. And last but not least, episode number 7. In the first task he was part of the male coach group. In that one he messed up some tongue twisters, and he also told Ruben a wrong word for a tongue twister, and he suggested to take that deepest slit, which also meant that they would only earn the lowest amount possible. And in that second task, in that saloon, he first of all said that he thought that they would not only be able to earn money but also something else, which seemed a bit like he had some knowledge beforehand about the task. And he also ended up in a duel against Ruben, which he lost, and by losing that one it meant that 3,000 euro weren't added to the pot. So do you think that our twin here is the Mol? Definitely let me know that in the comments below, and also tell me if I've missed any hints or theories leading to Lancelot as the Mol. And as promised in the Toes video, I will tell you now who I think is the Mol, or let's say who is my Mol. And I have to say that my Mol of season 11 is Lancelot. Although it would not shock me if Comfort or Toes would turn out to be the Mol, I have to say that it's still very exciting that it's definitely not easy this time. They all have their Mol actions, which I tried to present in the last 3 videos, but they also had their anti-Mol actions, so you could basically find an explanation for any of those 3 why he or she is not the Mol, as well as you can find explanations why he or she is the Mol. And that, of course, is a huge compliment to the producers of the season, because it is still super exciting and it's still not absolutely clear. And yeah, I'm very excited to read about your moles, and I'm also very eager and excited to finally watch the reveal of the Mol. And yeah, of course I'm voting for Lancelot, but if it turns out to be Comfort or Toast, then I'm also, well, clapping and bowing my head, and I think whoever it is, that Mol definitely did a great job. I hope to see you back in the last video to season 11, which will come up next week about the final. And if you do not want to miss that or any future videos about the Mol shows, then please subscribe to this channel here. I've enjoyed reading all of your hints and theories throughout the season, so I'm definitely looking forward to the last comments under this video here and another upcoming video, and I hope to see you back in the future as well. I wish us all a great final. Until next week. Bye!